Hi, my name is John. I'm an adult child. When I started this 30 years ago, if I walked into a room with two or more people, I'd turn around and leave. And I find myself wanting to talk to as many people as I can in the shortest amount of time to offer you what I've learned over the last 30 years. Some of the names of the workshops I've done is You Aren't Broken, Only Lied To. The Laundry List Will Set You Free. And what I've done, when I first got in the program, they said, John, this is a cunning, baffling disease, cunning, baffling, powerful. And I said, oh, cool. What's cunning, baffling, and powerful about it? And they said things like, keep coming back. And I said, no. What's cunning, baffling, and powerful? And so one day at a time, John. And I said, okay, they don't know. They know that it is cunning, baffling, and powerful, but they don't know why. They don't know what happens. What I want to do today is talk to you. I call it the logistics of belonging, or the logistics of heart-centered living. It's about the information that you're missing between I don't want to do that, finding yourself doing it, saying I'll never do it again, finding yourself doing it, saying I'll never do that again, finding yourself doing it. What happens in between? That's what I want to talk to you about today. So I worked at Sacramento County Jail, or I volunteered from 1995 to 2015. And in the process of working with the inmates, I discovered a lot of this information I'm going to share with you today. When I first started as a drug and alcohol counselor or a violence intervention program facilitator, as an adult child, I had this information about childhood trauma. So I knew this when I was talking to the people. And what I discovered is they were not hearing what I was saying according to the picture I had in my mind. They filtered what I said through their experience, adult child, PTSD, trauma, and then to make sense to them. I asked a guy one time, I was doing a violence intervention program, and I believe my picture was I was giving them information to empower them to use cooperative communication to get what they really want, because violence or coercion does never get you what you want. It works in the short term to control, but it never gets you what you want, and what most people want is some kind of connection. So I asked the guys, what are you hearing us say? And a gentleman in the back of the room raised his hand. And I said, what are you hearing us say? And he said, John, we're hearing you say that you want us to be a bunch of sissies. And how? Really? So I actually quit my job because there was no communication, or what the communication I thought was going on wasn't happening. And I developed a group called a process group, where they told me what they were hearing. The main part of the group was them talking to me and then me fielding questions. So what I'd like to do is take you through an introduction that I do, because that's the time we got today. I'm also doing a workshop tomorrow in the evening. It's an hour and a half, so we'll have a little bit more time to anybody that might want to do some of the exercises that I'm going to talk about today. We'll have time to do that tomorrow. So I'm going to ask you 3 questions. Have you ever hurt somebody you loved, regretted it, and then did it again, usually in the same way? Have you ever been in an argument with somebody, and in the middle of the argument got that you were on the wrong side of the argument, and you continued to argue anyway? Like, yeah, I like that one. It's like, have you ever been in a situation where you knew what you were about to do you would regret, and a little voice in your head said, stop, what are you doing? And you found that you couldn't or wouldn't stop the behavior? Okay. This is what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about the logistics of that process. So the premise is you were never broken. You were lied to. You took that lie, I'm not good enough, there's something wrong with me, I need to produce to be loved, I need to be a perfect woman, I need to be a perfect man. And it got embodied internally in that mechanism that's your survival mechanism. And this mechanism does not equivocate between the truth and a lie. You tell it something, it goes, okay, let's go. So if somebody told you enough times that you're not enough, this mechanism got, for you to maintain your safety and your life, you have to manifest not enough. Then you grew up and saw that that wasn't working for you. You tried to change it. And the harder you tried to change it, the more locked down you found yourself at times when you like, what the hell am I doing? I don't understand what I'm doing. In this process of being told you're not enough, there's something wrong with you, your value is in what you do, how you produce, your body took that as the truth. And it's taken that truth and enlisted it into your well-being by the strongest force on the planet, which is your survival mechanism, fight, flight, freeze, brainstem, midbrain. And its job is to maintain that lie because it believes that's how you stay safe. So if you read the laundry list, that's a manifestation of dysfunction. We all know that. And then we go to the dysfunction and try to change the behavior. It's like fear of criticism. And we find out that we still maintain a level of fear of criticism, or it takes a really long time to work through it. So what we're going to do is look at that and give you a way out, a way to notice what's the truth about me and what's a lie about me. Here's one of the biggest things to confront that lie. You are not your behaviors. We live in a society, and I'm from the United States, and I'm sure that it's worldwide, that your value to your community is determined by behaviors, level of education, things you produce. When my reality now is the value I bring to my community is who I am before I do anything. And knowing who I am, being authentic, uncovering the lie, that's my value. And there's a lot of things I do in the community, it comes from that authentic place. So we're going to talk about how to reach that authentic place. So I'm going to take you through a group exercise. One of the things I want you to know is that anytime I'm asking you to do something as a facilitator, you have the option to say no. You have 3 options anytime I'm asking you to do something: yes, no, or maybe. If you take one of those options out, doesn't work. So you always have the option to say no. If that's not there, this mechanism I'm talking about tightens down on the old paradigm, the lie, and then keeps you stuck there. So if I asked you to do something in the group, or even when I ask this next question I'm going to ask you, you get to say no. You get to just sit there, not do anything, watch. Or you can say maybe, let me see how this works, and let me see if it's really safe for me, and then do it. It's your choice. So I'm going to ask you a question, then I'm going to talk about this mechanism. Okay. The question is, what do you want? What do you want that you've never had? It's like other people seem to have this quality or this thing they can do or be, and you don't have it. What is that you want that you've never had? Or what is it you want that you lost along the way? or you gave up to survive. And failing those two things, what is it you're looking for from this workshop, now that you know a little bit about what this workshop's about? So what is it you want that you don't have, that you gave up, or you're looking for by coming to the conference and being in this workshop? Yes. Say again. Inner peace. Yes. Anybody else? Joy. Stability. Long-term romantic love. This one here. Love for yourself. Who said that? Thank you. Okay, think about what it is you want that you don't have. And I'm going to talk about what's standing in your way of you having it. So, some of the things. Peace. Yeah. Holy cow. I don't want to. I want to keep going. How long is this going to take? Okay, let's do it. So, the barriers, I'm going to keep talking because of the time. Good. Am I good? Okay. So the there's only four things standing in your way of you having what you want that you don't have. Your belief system, your attitudes, your habits, and your expectations. This is on, you can write this down because it's good to make that movement and write it down. And I also have it on the internet for the convention. You can download all this material. So what I'm telling you in these four things, belief system, attitudes, habits, and expectations, I'm going to break that down into street language. So what I'm telling you right now in this moment, because you're telling me this is something you don't have, that everything you think right now is a barrier. It's coming right out of your belief system, your attitudes, and your habits. Everything you say right now is a barrier. Because it's coming out of the old information. It's coming out of the lie. There might be some mixed up in there with what you've learned in ACA already about dysfunctional. You've owned some of this stuff. You're looking for something new. So there might be some change in there. But right now, if you're saying what you want is something you don't have, this is what's standing in your way. The other thing is everything you do right now is a barrier. Because it's coming right out of what you know. And I'm going to add to that. I'm also going to say anything you choose not to think about. It's like, I'm going to think about this. No, I'm going to change that up. I'm going to think about it. As I'm doing this process, what I want is still away from me. Everything I choose not to do or say is a barrier. And of course, everything I choose not to do is a barrier. So here's what I'm telling you. I'm telling you everything you think, say, and do in this moment is a barrier. And everything that you equivocate about not thinking, saying, and doing is also a barrier. So based on what you're hearing me say, because like I said, you create a picture in your mind when you hear me speak, how do you feel? What's the feeling in your body? Everything I think, say, and do, choose not to think, not to say, not to do, is the barrier for me having that peace of mind, long-term loving relationship. Somebody want to offer a feeling? Despair. So where do you feel that in your body? Chest, arms, chest. Yours?
Sadness and despair, and also
in here. Okay. Anybody else? Stress. Stress is where do you feel that? Okay, that's it. The feeling. We're looking for the body sensation. Yeah. Okay. Anybody else? Inside your stomach. What's the feeling? Okay. Have you got a descriptive word? And you don't need a descriptive word because your body tells you. Your body knows. So if you have a descriptive word, if that's feeling in your deflated. Something. Okay. Yes. Okay. Have you got a feeling that, or a descriptive word that? Pain. Okay. That's a yes, ma'am. And the descriptive word? Irritated, agitated, otherwise annoyed, afraid, hurt, sad. Grief? Yeah. Okay. So it's the feeling words are on this sheet. Okay. So everybody, there might be some in the back, but can you share? So we're going to move past this anyway. Okay. So everybody, just notice the feeling in your body. Notice where it's at. Take a deep breath and be with that body sensation for just a second. Okay. Now everybody pay attention to the guy in front. Old guy. Everything I just told you is no longer true because you've just shifted everything in your total experience through that one moment of self-validation. So now I don't know if everything you think, say, and do, choose not to think, not to say, not to do, is standing in your way because you've shifted everything through that one moment of nurturing. In ACA, we call it self-parenting. You just self-parented, loving parented yourself. That changes you. Just notice your body. It's telling you something right now. This is what we're looking for from everybody else in our lives, and they either can't give it to us, and if they did, we wouldn't know what it felt like. So they may be giving it to us because it's in the feeling body. It's bad news for men and almost same kind of bad news for women because men were told don't feel, don't cry, don't be a sissy, don't show your emotions, be tough, get the job done, don't be a sissy. Women were told, oh, you feel, but it's like, that's because you're women. And it's like it's been demeaned and diminished. So that one thing that can take you to what you want has either been denied or demeaned and diminished in you. That feeling you're having right now, and you don't have to name it, you can, is shifting something internal. What happens in this process is you're going to think of something you've never thought of before, or you're going to think of something, maybe the same thing, but in a different way. You'll be a different spin on it. And you'll orient yourself towards that self-nurturing. Self-parenting. We talk a lot about self-parenting in ACA, but there's very little examples of it that I found anyway. It's kind of like the thing standing in our way is the expectation. The expectation is I should know, or the expectation is that you do know because I just told you. And neither one of those are viable or real. I didn't know I was going to say this, but for men in this room, the number one thing you can do to create a deeper relationship is learn how to listen without trying to fix. For the women in the room, you can know that your feelings are vital to your safety. And that's the same way for men, too. Our feelings are vital to our safety. So here's the logistics. There's a mechanism inside your brainstem and your brain, and it's the there's a guy named David Allen who wrote a book on business, how to maintain businesses. And he said this reticular activating system is the seat of the paradigm. In other words, it grabs a hold of what you know to be true and then locks it into the paradigm you find yourself in or the way you see yourself being in the world. That's the way I am. That's the way it is. That's the seat of the paradigm. We've discovered that these things are plastic and that they're mutable and you can change them. And we're going to talk about how to do that in the next half hour. So the reticular activating system is a net-like group of cells from the brainstem and the midbrain that feed information into your rational brain for decisions. I just started a book, I forget the author, it's called Dante's Error. I think, therefore I am. And the error is that the decision-making process filters through your brainstem memory and midbrain effects of that memory, the emotional hit, that's the midbrain, and then feeds information to the choice. And without that, the best you can do is clever. Without that emotional, physical, feeling information, the best you got is clever. And that's what I talked about, everything you think, say, and do, choose not think, not say, not to do. Because we're real good at surviving. We know how to survive. We know how to manipulate the situation so we can stay what we think is safe and then wonder why we're doing it at the same time. In our society, they talk about the brainstem and the midbrain, and they demean and diminish that. Brainstem is called the lizard brain. Nobody wants to be a damn lizard. And the midbrain is called the monkey mind. Nobody wants to be a silly-ass monkey. So we dismiss those two things as vital to our decision-making process. And in common terms, that's our emotions and feelings. And sometimes these emotions and feelings, you don't know the difference because they're simultaneous. And they feed information to, should I get close to this person or should I move away from this person? And it's in the feeling body. So the reticular activating system takes this lie, I'm not enough, there's something wrong with me, I need to produce to feel good or be a productive member of society, and puts it in service to your well-being. I often thought, how can I reparent myself with all this shit I've done? It's like, are you shitting me? Well, here's the deal. All my behaviors have simply been in alignment with the information that was given me. It hurt. It was destructive. It violated people. It violated myself. It was not wrong in this sense or right, which is a more devastating sense. It was simply in alignment with the information given to me and how I took it in and created my picture of how my parents treated me or how teachers treated me or how military treated me or how this society expected me to be. This mechanism is why I say yes, no, maybe. Because if you haven't got the option of no, somebody says, move closer to me. And you go, what? And you don't have the option to say no, this tightens down on the old belief system. This filters out what it believes to be non-essential to your well-being. An example of that is, before I got into AA, somebody offered me the number to AA. And I said, what are you giving me that for? I don't need that. Didn't make any sense. I filtered out that information because I didn't see myself as an alcoholic or having a problem with alcohol. I did see you having a problem with my alcohol, but that's not my problem. So it filtered it out. Once I made the decision to go to AA, somebody handed me, why didn't you give me this before? And they said, well, I've been trying to give it to you for 10 years. But it made sense to me then, right? Because my decision to do something opened this reticular activating system so that information could simply get in. The reticular activating system draws on your experience. And I've got an iceberg up here. That's my version of an iceberg. 1/8 of the iceberg is above the water, conscious. That's what we remember about our experience. And I'm thinking it's a little bit less than that. But 7/8 of our experience is in our subconscious. And that's where we store our trauma, wounding. We remember how it happened, when it happened, with who it happened. So when we get a trigger in the present day, this excites and says, whoo, move away. And it might not be something you need to move away from, but based on this experience, move away. It's like I was the first one out of the relationship. If anything happened, boom. And it was based on this memory, trauma. Here's the thing. 8/8, the 1/8 conscious and the 7/8 subconscious, motivate my behaviors. So when I'm making a decision about move close, move away, it's filtering through my total experience from zygote, from conception, all the way to here. And determining my behavior through that information. That information was a lie, and we're going to sort that out. Has anybody got a question about what you heard me say, just specifically about this information? We'll have time in the next workshop if somebody wants to talk about something personal issue. But anybody want to? Yes. Yes. Okay. So what she said is, I was talking about an opening in this amygdala reticular activating system for information to come in. And the question was, why did it open? Because I had the ability to see my behavior as different than who I am. Coming from a benevolent power, reticular activating system, in service to my well-being. It hurt, don't get me wrong, but it's not wrong. It's not bad. I'm not defective. I've been simply given a shitload of information that isn't true about me, and it's using that information to motivate my decision. So if I own the result, and you've all done it because you're in 12-step, I'm an adult child of an alcoholic. New information started coming in. And I want to offer, there's more in there about you, about this, about where your behaviors come from. That I want to offer, I said about you, but it's about your behaviors. That's not you. Your behaviors are not you. They come from information embodied by you. There was another question. Subconscious. Yeah, what she said is we live in a society that does blame the behavior, and I'm going to paraphrase, and that there's no way to change it, is what I'm hearing. And what I'm going to offer you is what I call it logistics, because logistics to me is a cool word because it means like setting everything in place so I can move and be supported in that move. So I'm going to set everything in place so that when you move, you have a route. It's like having an internal Google map. to peace of mind, to long-term loving, caring relationship, to peace, to self-love, to whatever it is you're looking for that you don't have. That internal mechanism was given to us as children. It was fed. Imagine loading into your Google map that, I'm going to use the United States, that San Francisco's on the East Coast. It's like you're going to look all your life for San Francisco on the East Coast. But if that's what the map's telling you, that's where you're going to go. And another thing about this power, cunning, baffling, powerful, is a benevolent power. It is simply looking out for your best interest. It hurts. I have caused a lot of pain in my life, in myself and the people around me. And the motivation for that was to keep me safe, and it was hidden from me. That's insidious. That's cunning, baffling, and powerful. That is cunning, baffling, and powerful. So here's the way out. Go to the end result. Whatever the end result is in your life. And when you backtrack it to the motivation, it's right here. Cannot be any other place. I'm going to say it again. Go to the behavior, that behavior you don't like or wish you wouldn't do. And when you backtrack it to the motivation, it's here. It's internal. It's maybe when your mother said, you need to do this to be better. Maybe when I'll take my mother, you need to be a girl. How come you're not a girl? To my father, how come you're not a white baby? And then I got love mixed up with rejection, because the love that I was shown from my parents was you're not enough. So when I grew up, I walked into a room full of women, and the one that thought I needed the best improvement, I was in love with. Because the energy was the same. It says in the ACA Red Book that we recreate the chemistry of our childhood. I was good at that. And if I was with a person that didn't reject me offhandedly, I would do something so they would. Are you kidding me? No. This is the mechanism, the reticular activating system. It's a benevolent force put in service to my well-being, and I needed to maintain rejection. Or I mean, think about yours. It could be not enough. Barbie doll, tough guy. So it's been put in service to maintain your vital life, and it's been misinformed. It's been misled. It's a lie. Own the lie. Say the lie. And this happens in the ACA meetings. We're doing that constantly. We're saying where we find ourselves, and everybody's listening to us. Nobody judges it. Nobody says, well, what'd you do that for? Because we all know. We don't understand it. We're coming to an understanding in this room about the mechanism. And once you're informed, then you have options. It's choice and power. So here's an example of my accountability. Hi, my name's John. I'm an alcoholic. No blame, no judgment. That's my truth. That's where I found myself. No blame, no judgment. That created that emotional hit that you felt when I asked you the question. And then I had a thought, an inspiration. And the inspiration was better than the clever, well, I'll make sure everybody thinks I'm going to a meeting and I'll head out to the bar. Clever. It wasn't clever. It was, I'm coming back. I'm coming back. Feel that. Can you feel that? Same thing happened to you. I'm going to ACA. What for? I don't know. Doesn't even make sense. That's another thing. Recovery doesn't make sense. It's a fluid, dynamic, organic process. And we've been trained in rationale and logic. And it doesn't work, especially in relationships. Rationale and logic doesn't work in relationships. Unless it's with a blueprint and you're an architect or an engineer. Then logic works. Works real good. But in relationships, with the difference that we all find ourselves in, the different experiences that we've come through, the uniqueness that we are, there's no logic to it. And if, without this awareness of your emotional body and your feeling body, I want to offer, for me, it was not doable. Not doable. So you telling your truth, feeling the emotion, making an intent, I intend to come back. That was my first choice around my addiction. Before I thought I was making a choice, but I was just clever because I was avoiding. It's not really a choice. Everybody thinks we're making a choice. Well, you chose to do that. No, you didn't. Not consciously. You did make the choice subconsciously, which baffled you. So this, owning the truth, let me do another example. Hi, my name's John. I'm a mean father. It is my intent to be a loving, caring, nurturing father. I never said those words before. They never entered my mind. But once I got the thought of being a disciplinary father, doing what's right for his children, using discipline under the guise, or violence under the disguise of discipline, no, it is my intent to be a loving, caring, nurturing father. And that intent opened up for the person to ask the information that was now I would hear about loving, caring, nurturing father because I had focused on it. On the behavior. No blame, no judgment. Now I want to tell you there's a lot of feeling around that truth. Deep, deep feeling around that truth. And you know what a loving, caring, nurturing father does when he realizes he's being mean? He's being accountable for it. So as soon as I owned it, the shift happened. That's what a loving, caring, nurturing father does, is own that meanness. Accountability, behavior, you are not your behaviors. Own the result where you find yourself. No blame, no judgment. That's your truth. I put my truth. I'm uncovering the lie, but it's my truth. So it's been incorporated by that reticular activating system as my truth subconsciously. Transitional truth. The ultimate truth, I know nothing about. Whatever that's going to be, I want to be there. That's all I know. That ultimate truth. My truth, when I believe the lie, I'm a mean dad. That's my truth. My truth is not, you need to. That's my opinion. It's not my truth. My truth starts with I. Created an emotion, which offered me information to choose another thing. That's my power. Power being equated to a number of options. When I was working in a jail, I'd ask people about their power, and they said, well, you have no power. And I said, well, I want to offer that your physical power is limited, because there's a lot of fences and barbed wire. So your physical power is limited. Your emotional and your feeling power and your personal power is not limited. Your imagination is not limited. They cannot limit those. They can certainly limit your physical. So power in this sense is not might makes right, force. There is such a thing as horsepower, how enough energy to move something a certain distance. That's not the power I'm talking about. Personal power. Personal power is the amount of options that you have in any given situation. This process offers you options no matter where you find yourself. I intend. That's the self-validation you're looking for everybody else to give you, and that's what I call intentional living. Anybody want to know what this arrow is at the bottom? You want to know what that arrow is at the bottom? Do it again. Do it again. The logistics of heart-centered living. Step 10. Step 10. Know when I'm wrong and promptly admit it. No. Are we gonna? Do I get all the way up till 15? Yeah, 10 minutes. I'm good. I got you. So let's take out this sheet. If you're open to it, remember, yes, no, maybe. Tell me to go jump in the lake. No, I ain't gonna take up that sheet. So if who you've become isn't who you are, who are you? If your behaviors aren't who you are, who are you? So I'd like to tell you who I am. I'm a gentle, loving, empowering whole man. So I'd like to do in this exercise, remember, you get to choose whether you want to do this or not. Yes, no, maybe. Pick 3 words off that sheet and put them in the sentence, I am a blank, 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 man, woman, person, human being. Whatever feels good to you. If you're having trouble picking 3 words that you believe you are, pick 3 that you're not. That you say, hell no, I'm not that. Pick those 3. As long as you come up with 3. Who would like to offer me their choices? Yes. Yes, you are. So you're walking down the street and somebody comes up to you and goes, who the hell do you think you are? You go, I am a. Yes. And when it happens to me, I go, I'm glad you asked. Let me tell you who I am. So, and write that down because we have this reticular activating system. The old belief wants us not to touch this stuff because it's the demise of the old behavior. Sure. Can you say it again so I can repeat it? She said, I am a loving, powerful, and grateful human being. Thank you. Anybody else? Hold on. Yes, you are. Wise, creative, powerful woman. Make sure you write that down, please, if you would. Remember, yes, no, maybe. Yes.
I'm a loving, forgiving, worthy woman.
I'm a loving, forgiving, worthy woman. And what was yours again? Yes. I'm a wise, creative, powerful woman. Anybody else? Yes. I'm a worthy, humorous, creative man. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. This is who you are. It's not all of who you are, because I want to offer you everything on that page, and you've been lied to about who you are, and you've been doing your best to manifest that. That was courageous. On your part. Anybody else like to offer? I'm a trusting, open, tenacious man. Yes, you are. Thank you. I am a creative, spontaneous, and powerful woman. Yes, you are. I'm a free, whole, pure man. Yes, you are. I'm beautiful, I'm beautiful, I'm beautiful. Yes, you are. Yes, got it. Thank you. Wow. Feel that. Everybody just feel that. That's truth. Went from whatever it was to I'm beautiful, I'm beautiful, I'm beautiful. I like that. Who is somebody? I'm a worthy, powerful, creative woman. Yes, you are. Yeah. Thank you. I love it. I love it. I love it. So notice how you're feeling in your body right now. And the only thing that's changed since you came into this room is information. Information and you being with other people who are looking for the same thing you're looking for. ACA is what I believe the 12 steps have evolved to, and what I believe the 12 steps are going to, what the 12 steps have evolved from, and I believe what the 12 steps are going to evolve to. You guys rock. Yeah. Cool. Anybody else want to offer? I'm a trusting, honest, and spiritual human being. Yes, you are. And so is that woman back there. She's that, whatever she said. So. I'm a loving, caring, powerful man. Yes, you are. We got about 1 minute. I'm going to do this again tomorrow in 301, 302. And there's another exercise that I want to talk about. It's called Love Equals. And it's that core thing that I talked about for me based on what my mother's needs were and what my father's needs were. I got love mixed up with the energy of rejection. And once I got that in my truth, and I said to myself, I want it to be acceptance. And I heard myself say, to me now, love equals acceptance. And a lot of things shifted in my life. How I saw colors, how I talked to people, how I got close to people, didn't get close to people. I had some discernment going. And I call it the core issue. There's 3 basic fears that we develop in a human being. Separation and abandonment, self-worth, and trust and surrender. Those 3 things are what, when we nurture our children, give them a sense that they have. Separation and abandonment, worth or self-worth, trust and surrender. And everything I say to you in these workshops is to afford you the ability to sense that you have the capacity to do something in your life that you want to do. that you know that you have an influence over what happens to you. You're not a victim, and that you're needed by your community. H. Stephen Glenn wrote some books about how to build capable young people. He got out of college around in the 50s after the Second World War and did some studies about the rising suicide, addiction, pregnancy of our teenagers. And it's been going up steadily since 1960 till the present moment. And these are the qualities of internal knowingness that we need to interact with people in a compassionate, loving way. If we don't have these, if we've been lied to about who we are, and we don't know that that's the driving force behind our behavior, and then blame ourselves or criticize ourselves, we even in the ACA talk about the critical parent. The critical parent has been critical about something internal in you that isn't true. And I could talk for another 2 hours. Thank you so much. You're welcome.
We've come to the end of this workshop. To remind ourselves some of our traditions.